Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Hello.
What up?
What's up, guys? I think I got this shit all set up.
Alright.
We should be live. Hopefully, I typed
The
it in.
fuck? Alright, big bro. Big bro hung up. Okay. I know that the other two are gonna have to hang up. But like,
It's all good, man. Fuck, it's been a while. Let's see what's
yeah. Alright. Oh shit. I'm skipping frames. Oh, God damn it. I didn't mean for them to be on my shit.
Lane Kiffin. That's a good one.
Yeah, Kiffin's my fucking head coach. Alright, Mills, thanks for the follow. Alright, I'm gonna leave the call, and whenever you have the stream started up and everything.
It looks like it's live, but it says Week 10 Broncos versus Saints. He probably needs to update it.
Yeah, he just needs to change all that stuff. I'm gonna
Yeah.
put that in Discord, and then just whenever Big Shadow gets out of the shower, you can join.
Sweet.
And then if it hangs up and kicks you out because nobody else is in here, just call back whenever he says he's ready.
Okay. Both of you guys are 8-1.
Yeah, we're both 8-1. All right. Thanks for doing this, man.
Yeah, no problem. Alright, sweet. Looks like we got some action here between the teams. I'm going to be solo casting here. I'm your host, Fallen. I don't know if anyone's joining in. I'm an old Wash player from this league back in the day, so I'm gonna try my best to give some solo coverage here. It looks like I think we have Big Shadow joining once he hops out the shower because he's a smelly kid. Um, Always got to cleanse himself. So just looking at this game, both teams coming at 8-1. Back when I was in the league, I wasn't able to play either of these teams, unfortunately. I know Big Shadow is definitely renowned as one of the better users in the league. Brainiac is very solid himself. He's done a good job building this Dallas Cowboys team up. I know he's made the big addition to Jake Fromm, who will have to continue success. Um, we'll have to continue to succeed if that's what's the case. I could be completely off, but looks like we're gonna get casted here from First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. You have the 8-1 Dallas Cowboys traveling all the way up and across the conference rivalry. The Dallas Cowboys will be set to kick off here. Cleveland will receive. Dan Bailey lines up for the kick. Wind's blowing at 13 miles an hour to the from the Cowboys' backs. And the kick is off and underway. Back to receive deep is Jabril Peppers. Kick scales out of bounds for a touchback. So that'll set the Cleveland Browns up at the 25-yard line here. Cleveland looks like they'd be set to come out in a double tight two receiver set with a running back. We'll see what they want to come up with. And it'll be Baker Mayfield under center with Bradley Chubb. Sorry. Nick Chubb behind him, and it's going to be a fake handoff. Never mind, it's going to be a handoff zone right. Makes a quick cut. Bounces out to about the 4-yard line, tackled by Jalen Smith there, good for about a rush of 4 yards. Just a simple outside zone concept, following all your linemen there, making the open cut. Zone run, very, very effective. Different than the gap and power concepts, but zone runs typically you'll see as a staple of many, many offenses, especially under center teams. You can't really go wrong with it. Next up, the Cleveland Browns will come out. Baker Mayfield in the shotgun, Nick Chubb to the right of him, double tight set, receiver split out to each side. Dallas encounters with their 4-3, another inside zone handoff to Nick Chubb, and that's going to be only good for about a gain of 1, maybe 2 on the play. Dallas front 7 up there really clogged it up. They went to that 4-3 overlook, get more guys on the line of scrimmage, and help keep Leighton Vander Esch and Jalen Smith clean so they can make plays. So Cleveland will come out now in the shotgun here on 3rd and 5. Baker Mayfield surveys the field. He looks back. He drops back to pass. Looking, fires right, and it's going to be intercepted by Byron Jones. He gets to about the 30, the 25, down to 10, and it's going to be tackled by a Cleveland offensive lineman. Just didn't have the excel, but that's a huge, huge play by the athletic Byron Jones. I mean, if you remember many years back at the Combine, this man broke the record, I believe, for the high jump. There's a reason he's one of the top tier man cover corners in the league, and really showed it there, making huge athletic plays and can definitely cover anyone with the best of them. So Jake Fromm will come out double tight, receiver split out left and right. Ezekiel Elliott behind him in the eye. Take the handoff for about 1, and he'll be swallowed up there by it looks to be Dexter Lawrence, one of the better run stuffing interior defensive linemen in the league. So that sets up Dallas at about 2nd and 9 at the 10-yard line, 9:28 left. Looking to punch it in here and capitalize off that turnover quick. Jake Fromm comes out, 3 tight ends now. Wide receiver to the left of him, Ezekiel Elliott behind him in the eye. Jake Fromm drops back to pass. He's looking, fires, throws a quick drive out to Irv Smith Jr., who gets tackled and falls forward for about 1 or 2 yards, setting him up at the 5, good for about 6. Cleveland countered there at the 44 defense, so really looking to stop the run and make sure Ezekiel Elliott cannot make easy plays in that run game behind that feared Dallas offensive line. So now this is an interesting situation for the Dallas Cowboys. They're set up in 3rd and 3, so you always have the run threat here, but passing the ball also could be a way to sneak it in, and it looks like Cleveland's going to counter with their base 4-3 set. Dallas comes out in the pistol. Irv Smith to the right, Jamiz Alawali to the left, and it's going to be drop back pass by Jake Fromm. He's going to dump it off in the flats for Ezekiel Elliott, who's going to try and make a move, but he's swallowed up there. Loss of about 3. So that's going to force a Dallas Cowboys field goal attempt here, as that play did not go anywhere. The Cleveland defense, they set it up perfectly. They let him catch it and read and react and made a tackle on the football to stop the first down. Dan Bailey's kick is up, and it is good. Straight up through the uprights. That puts Dallas up 3-0. So if you're the Dallas Cowboys, that's a win there. Or actually, it's more of a win for the Cleveland Browns after throwing that pick deep in your own territory and only stopping 3 there. They made a great play on 3rd and 3, which is not an ideal down. You know, if you're thinking about it offensively, you're going to convert that more often than not. So we'll see how Baker Mayfield responds after the huge play there by Byron Jones. And Cleveland's going to come out, 2 receivers split out left, Josh Gordon and Jarvis Landry. Cleveland going to be in the power I formation or strong I formation. Baker Mayfield under center, fullback and tailback behind him. He's going to take the handoff up the middle, breaks a tackle, lowers his shoulder, and he's going to gain for about 12 yards. That's going to set up a Cleveland first down huge. That's a gap and power scheme there. So they're going to pull the right guard, down blocks by the entire offensive line. Fullback's going to kick out, and left guard is going to wrap around for an easy gain there. I mean, that's one of the most bread and butter plays in the book. Dallas tried to come in there with a 4-3, but they just didn't slant the wrong way. Or they slanted the wrong way, which set up a huge hole there, and Nick Chubb lowered his shoulder and grinded out them tough yards. So Cleveland comes out, fresh set of downs here. Baker Mayfield in the pistol. Then ace set here with 2 tight ends in the wings, and then wide receiver split out right. Dallas is going to counter with nickel formations, both linebackers in the A gaps. Baker Mayfield's going to turn, hand the ball off to Nick Chubb, break a tackle, and only going to lose about 3 yards there on the play. Not ideal. Or it's not ideal if you're the Cleveland Browns. You want to always be moving forward there. And Dallas played the run very well. It looked like DeMarcus Lawrence on the edge there really swallowed that one up. So now Cleveland's going to come out in the empty set, looking to spread them out and get their athletes in space versus the Dallas Cowboys DBs. Dallas is going to counter with their nickel set. Leighton Vander Esch lined up in the slot. Look for the mismatch there. Jalen Smith's dropping back. Baker Mayfield's rolling. It's going to be He's going to get about 1 yard there. The Dallas Cowboys defensive lineman really swallowed him up. It looked like he was trying to throw, waiting for the last minute. Jalen Smith was covering the nice tight end over the middle. I mean, that was almost a coverage sack. Had it been a yard back, you're talking about another sack for one of those defensive linemen, which are criminally underrated for the Dallas Cowboys. Now Cleveland's going to line up, 3 receivers to the right. Right receiver split out, tailback to the left of Baker Mayfield in the gun. He's going to drop back to pass, rolls out to his right. He's going to dump it off to the wide receiver. Only good for about 9 yards there, and that's a 4th and 3. So Cleveland they get the first down, and then they go 3 and out. So this Dallas Cowboys defense is locking up to start the game here. Definitely what you want to see if you're the Cowboys. You want to stop this high-powered Cleveland offense, especially with Baker Mayfield, especially with Nick Chubb. They've got Josh Gordon. They've got Jarvis Landry. They've got the playmaking tight end. They've got weapons all over the place. And I don't think Dallas quite has the offensive capability to get in a shootout with them, but I think the Dallas Cowboys can win a street fight nonetheless with that offensive line, the running game, and Jake Fromm managing everything. So now they're going to line up. 2 receivers left, tight end, wide receiver out right. Ezekiel Elliott behind Jake Fromm in the eye. Fromm makes an audible. He's going to hand off, inside zone to the middle. Ezekiel Elliott's going to break a tackle there, fight off a poor, wimpy tackle there by the strong safety. Gain about 9 there, setting up a 2nd and 1 at their own 33-yard line. With about 5 minutes left here in the first quarter. Back at it again. Jake Fromm's going to hand off to Ezekiel Elliott up the gut, who's going to get swallowed up before the line of scrimmage. The Ezekiel Elliott just has the refuse to lose attitude there. Grinds out about 2 yards there. Dallas came out in their nickel set, and the Browns just simply wanted to run the football. Not ideal you run nickel versus a run play. Now Dallas is going to line up. Tight end, 2 receivers split out right. Demaryius Thomas, single receiver to left. Ezekiel Elliott behind Jake Fromm in the gun. Dallas is going to be in their 4-3 set. Jake Fromm turns, fakes the handoff to Ezekiel Elliott, fires over the middle. It's going to be complete to Allen Hurns. Good for about 34 yards there on that play. Dallas simply faked the dive as they've been trying to hammer away. And they're just trying to lull the Cleveland Browns to sleep and hit him right over the middle. Now Dallas is going to come out with the bunch set right to Demarius Thomas again. The single receiver, Ezekiel Elliott behind him in the eye. Jake Fromm's drop backs to pass. He's looking, fires over the middle, caught to Irv Smith. A gain of about 18 yards there, complete for another first down. It's down to Dallas Cowboys offense is firing on all cylinders. The Cleveland Browns have not been able to stop them, and it sets them right back up in the red zone again. If you're Cleveland, this is not how you drew up the start to the game, but we still have 3 more quarters left to play. But if Dallas can get another touchdown here and go up 10, or can get a touchdown here and go up 10-0, Cleveland definitely doesn't want to play in panic mode. Now Dallas is going to line up double tight to the left. Demarius Thomas also to the receiver to the left. Michael Gallup lined up to the right. Jake Fromm going to fake the snap, going to send Darius Thomas back to motion. Ezekiel Elliott's going to take the pitch to the left, makes a cut to the right, and it's a little simple crackback play. That's just a simple pee-wee football concept there. You crack the wide receiver looking to catch the edge player off guard, and they weren't able to get much of anything there. But gain of about 3 nonetheless, and you're still going in a positive direction here. When you get down in the red zone, it gets tough to really scramble and make passing plays. I think the best course of attack, especially if you're the Dallas Cowboys, has got to be run, and start trying to expose this possible soft underbelly of the Cleveland Brown front. Cleveland's going to press their wide receivers now as Dallas counters with a 2 tight receiver set. He's going to fake the handoff complete, and it's going to be intercepted by the Cleveland defensive back, who's going to take it and work its way out to about the 12-yard line. I mean, that is an incredible athletic play there by Cleveland, but it didn't look like there was a Dallas Cowboys guy open. Jake Fromm just sort of missed him. So that's a huge play by Cleveland to set up with. Now they've got the ball, and instead of a 10-0 lead, you're looking at a Cleveland team that has the ball back only down 3 despite making a couple big mistakes. So a critical holding call there on that play sets up Cleveland on 1st and long at 1st and 16, backed up at the 7, splitting the penalty due to them being inside the 20-yard line, so they're going to take half of it rather than the 10 yards. Baker Mayfield's going to drop back, completes the slant under the middle of Juice Landry for about 7 yards there, just trying to gain some sort of positive momentum. It was a perfect play call there against the Dallas Cowboys defense as they showed 6 and brought all 6, so they dumped it off under the middle. Simple check down route. Get a little bit of consistency with Baker Mayfield here, who's already got an interception. You know he's a gunslinger. I don't think his confidence is the issue, but you've got to get the offense rolling after you've had a 3-and-out last possession. Baker Mayfield now going to drop back in the gun. He's going to look fire to his left, and it's going to be caught there by Jarvis Landry. It looked like he got both feet in there. It was an athletic play on the sideline. Was running, didn't quite catch it, but if it holds up, that'll be a first down there. Cleveland going to work out to about the 24-yard line there. Just simple dump off in the flats. This Cleveland offensive line's really been holding up. So now Cleveland's going to come out, 2 receivers, both to the left and right. Running back to the right of Baker Mayfield in the gun. He's going to sing the handoff inside zone up the middle. Gain of about 5 there for Cleveland. Quick tackle there by the Cowboys defense, but 5 yards is something you'll take every single time you run the ball. You know the old 3 yards in a cloud of dust, but if you get 5, I guarantee you the Cleveland coach is doing cartwheels on the sideline whenever he gets 5. Excellent run there by Cleveland. Cleveland, not too balanced here. They've got 6 rushes to 4 passes, so we're going to see possibly them try and run the ball. They're not necessarily behind by too much trying to pass it, but definitely something to keep an eye on. Jarvis Landry's going to go in motion, and they're going to hand it off, or never mind, fake the handoff to the right, dump it off to the left, and it's going to bounce off a defender's helmet. Caught there by Jarvis Landry. An awkward catch there, but nonetheless, I believe Cleveland gained a yard or 2, and that'll take us into the second quarter now. Cleveland set up at 3rd and 5 on their own 29-yard line. Got a long field to goal, but they've got to work on this first. They've got to work on completing this first down now. They're going to counter it with a wide bunch right, tight end to the left. Baker Mayfield in the gun, tailback to the right of him. Dallas Cowboys don't appear to be lining up correctly to this as they're sitting in a 4-3 front. Baker Mayfield's going to drop back, look, fire, and it's going to be sacked there by Marcel Darius, the big man, big boy from Alabama, former top 5 overall pick. It's sort of in the later stage of his career, comes up with a huge sack there by Dallas to again force the punt. Fun fact, when you're backed up that far by Cleveland, your chances of scoring are almost minuscule, and I think it showed there. It doesn't take a mathematician to realize that the further you have to go, the harder it is to score. I don't know the quite exact percentage of it, but I'll get back to you. Maybe we can have my stats guy take care of it. So that's going to set up Dallas on their own 13-yard line. They've got about 87 yards here to go to pay dirt. They're going to line up with Jake Fromm in the pistol set, two receivers and the tight end to his right, Ezekiel Elliott behind him, single receiver spit out left. He's going to fake the snap, try and catch Dallas off guard, or try and catch Cleveland off guard. They don't do much of anything. He's going to hot route, make some adjustments. He's going to draft back to pass, throw a quick slant off there to Demaryius Thomas. That's gaining about 12, good enough for a first down. Fromm firing off 5 and 6. His only incompletion is that interception. Highly accurate, and I'm sure we all knew that coming out of college, that he could have, potentially be the next Peyton Manning in this. Quick read, taking what the defense gives you. If this is your offensive game plan, you necessarily you won't lose many games, as now Dallas is going to line up in the gun, Ezekiel to the left, and he's going to fake the snap. It looks like we had some movement up front there, not quite sure who it was. It's going to end up being a Dallas Cowboys offensive lineman jump there, and they're in the hostile environment, the crowd's cheering, the defenders are right in their face. I mean, it's tough to hear this quarterback in this tough dog pound environment. The Cleveland fans are going absolutely crazy. So that sets up 1st and 15 on the 20-yard line for Dallas. Fromm's going to drop back, steps back, fires over the middle. It's going to be just incomplete there. The Cleveland defender made an incredible athletic diving play. Cleveland was toast on that one. They showed 6 and they lined again, or they sent all of them, and Dallas simply went vertical on him and didn't have quite enough time. Had it have just been 1 or 2 steps later, I think it would have been an easy completion for a huge play over the middle there. They manned up and played 0 across the board, and Dallas just simply beat them. But they made an incredible diving, gambling play. So Fromm's going to be under center again. He's going to drop back to throw, pressure, and evades. He evades it, dump off to Demaryius Thomas over the middle. Gain of about 20 yards there. He just simply took the in route, broke a tackle, and fought for about 5 or 6 more yards there. So now Dallas is cooking. They've got a first down. The also ever important first down in the league. Now they've got what we like to call a drive going. Dallas is now going to come out in their ace set. From under center, tight ends in the wing position to the right and left, wide receivers to the left and right of them, about 2 yards over. Ezekiel Elliott behind center again. From going to fake the snap again. He's going to hand it off to Ezekiel Elliott to the left. And he's going to jump cut and be swallowed up there by Snacks Harrison. Only good for about nothing. And he just simply swallowed him up. That is a big man. You don't get the nickname Snacks Harrison if you're not a huge run-stuffing machine like him, even in this later portion of his career. Huge play there by Cleveland to set Dallas up, or keep Dallas off schedule. From in the pistol again, he's going to drop back to throw, pressure coming in from his left, fires off to the angle route, and Irv Smith's going to be wide open there. Good for about a first down, and there's going to be a penalty on the play. It looks to be roughing the passer on Leonard Floyd there. That's going to set Dallas up at the 25-yard line. Again in scoring position. Will Fromm be able to rally the troops and not throw an interception when he's deep here in the red zone? It's got to be an ever-growing problem. You want to get points when you're in position to score. So now Dallas comes out, wide receiver. Demaryius Thomas split out single to the left, two tight ends right, and Michael Gallup to the right. Elliott behind him center. They're going to fake the handoff. Fromm's going to roll it to his left, dumps it off, complete the Jeff Swain, good for about 4 yards there. Has Leonard Floyd looked like he made the tackle there in coverage. Leonard Floyd is one of those interesting hybrid guys. He was a former top pick, had all the athletic ability in the world, can rush the passer, can cover a little bit. Formerly of the Bears. Unfortunately, I didn't get to use him back in my time with him, but I think he's found a home right here in Cleveland. He can pretty much do whatever you want there as an edge player. Now Dallas lined up 2 tight ends to the right, Ezekiel Elliott behind him. They're going to just simply get into outside zone off to Ezekiel Elliott, who's going to look to make a move. I thought he should have kept running there. Only good for about 1. It looked like Myles Garrett wrapped him up there, holding the edge very strong. It looked like he almost juked into coverage. Not exactly if he hit the wrong button or something. If it was a video game, that's almost what it looked like. I personally think he could have, hit the corner a little bit more and broke away. But nonetheless, Cleveland setting up Dallas in 3rd and long, 3rd and 7 on on the Cleveland 22-yard line here. Dallas comes out, 3 receivers to the left, Irv Smith to the right, Ezekiel Elliott also to the right. Farm in the gun. He's going to drop back to throw. Fires over the middle. It's going to be complete to Demarius Thomas. Looks, fires, touchdown. Good for about 22 yards, a decently mid-strike. And that's going to be a Dallas touchdown. 9-0 pending the extra point. Dan Bailey on to kick. 13 miles an hour wind blowing right in his face. It's going to line the kick up. Fires, and it is up, and it is good. Just barely squeaks up through the uprights. That sets Dallas up for a 10-0 lead. They had a very, very impressive 7-play, 71-yard drive. Chewed off a lot of time in the clock. They controlled the ball, and were really playing to that strength of the Dallas Cowboys offense. Jarvis Landry back to receive the kick now, makes a move and fights to about the 32-yard line. Not bad gain there. Cleveland in desperation mode almost. They're down almost 2 scores. 7 minutes, halfway through the second quarter. They'd like to get some points off before halftime, gain and build some momentum. And they're going to come out in a triple tight end set. Josh Gordon, the only receiver to the left, and Nick Chubb behind Baker Mayfield behind Baker Mayfield under center. Dallas is going to counter with almost like a 46 look, sort of an older look you don't quite see nowadays, but nonetheless, it stops the run. Baker Mayfield turns, hands it off to Nick Chubb, who's going to make a cut, evades a linebacker, tackled for a 2-yard gain there. Good enough for 2nd and 8. Cleveland trying to power it up here, gain a first down that way, as they've not really had much success in either aspect. And they're going to line up in the same exact formation here. 3 tight ends to the left, Josh Gordon, the only receiver out to the left. This time Dallas playing more of a 4-3 overlook. Nick Chubb behind him in the gun. Baker Mayfield's going to drop back to pass. He's going to look from fire, and it's going to be incomplete there, broken up by Chidobe Awuzie, as it would just be a simple curl route, and he jumped on it. Not exactly where you want to throw the ball. You want to throw it so as soon as that receiver turns around, it's right in his hands. Boom. But it was just late, just a second or two, which allowed the corner to make up and break up the pass there. So now that sets Cleveland up 3rd and 8 at their own 34-yard line here. Gotta get another first down here. You can't afford to go 3 and out, as Baker Mayfield's going to drop back, looking to change it, roll left, and that's going to be another sack there. This time it looked like, I believe, Marcel Darius again. Big man with 2 sacks on the day, as he has absolutely taken over the game and taking this Cleveland Browns offensive line to school. That'll force another Browns punt here. Decent one underway. Tavon Austin back to return it. It's going to be hit at the 3-yard line and bounce out of bounds. Good enough for a touchback. Cleveland really avoiding catastrophe. Now Dallas Cowboys lined up with 6 minutes left. They can just chew the clock out, really put together another long drive, and if they get another score on the board here, it's not looking too good for Cleveland. Ezekiel Elliott behind Jake Fromm in the I formation. 2 receivers split out left, tight end receiver back right. He's going to fake the handoff. Fires. He's going to be hit as he throws, and it's going to complete to Demarius Thomas. No one in the general area of it. He's going to be on the 10, 5, touchdown. That's an 80-yard bomb for Dallas, as Demarius Thomas is taking back the clock here. A huge, huge play there for Dallas, and they're going to go up 16-0 pending the extra point here. And Demarius Thomas simply looked like that play a couple years back when Tebow threw him the slant and he took it all the way to the house. I mean, who is this man? Dan Bailey's extra point is up and good. Now going back to that, Cleveland's defense absolutely got toasted on this one. This is not good for Cleveland at all. Jarvis Jones again back to return the kick. He's going to scrap out to about the 35-yard line. Cleveland in a tough situation here. We said, I said they needed points last possession. Well, if they needed them then, they're starving for points now. I mean, you've got to absolutely score here. Should you be the Cleveland Browns? They've come out in that empty set. I guess they didn't think the triple tight end set would work when you're down a couple scores. Baker Mayfield is going to look to survey the field, create plays with his wide receivers there. They got a matchup with Josh Gordon and Leighton Vander Esch. Look at that play. He's going to look, step back, fire, complete over the middle, high pointed over to David Njoku, who's going to make a huge catch there. Lower his shoulder. And that's good enough for a 27-yard gain there, setting Cleveland up at Dallas' own 37-yard line. Definitely in field goal range if you're Cleveland. It's a rainy day. The wind necessarily not in their favor though, so they'd look to gain a couple more yards. Baker Mayfield's going to drop back to pass. He's pressured, dumps it off there to David Njoku again. He's going to break a tackle, fight forward there for about 13 yards. Another first down for Cleveland. Baker Mayfield again, going to drop back to passing, and he's sacked there by Randy Gregory. Obviously not on the juice or using performance-enhancing drugs or smoking that contraband, because he comes up with a huge sack there. Randy Gregory was a guy coming out of Nebraska who had all the talent in the world. Absolutely phenomenal pass rusher, athletic as all get out. He always had questions of him stopping the run, but you see there why he was drafted so highly. His ability to get open on the pass rush and make plays in the passing game is why Dallas really took a shot on him, and it's paying off here. Baker Mayfield now set up at 2nd and 17. Things get a little cloudy. He's going to drop back, set up the screen to the tailback there, who's going to get absolutely taken and stoned there by Antoine Woods. He caught the ball, and he didn't even have time to get his head around. The free safety made a huge play in the run game there. Had he not made that play, Cleveland had a convoy of linemen out in front, three big hosses. That's one of the best feelings there, as an offensive lineman getting out on the screen, getting ready to level some of them smaller guys there, back from experience. Getting out and really just mess up the smaller defensive backs here. But I'm no pro. I'm old and washed up. There's going to be a draw play there to the running back. 3rd and 19, just simply trying to get field position. So almost good enough there for the first down. Gain of about 12. It's going to be 4th and 7 here for Cleveland. Set up to kick. It's the field goal is going to be up, and that is up and good. That's going to settle the score at 17-3 there. Dallas up 14. They've got the ball. They're going to get the ball back here with about 2 minutes and 43 seconds left. Dallas easily able to run the 2-minute drill, go down and get some points. This is what you practice for, especially in this situation here, to almost put the game away. Dallas going to line up in the bunch left, and they're going to toss it off to Ezekiel Elliott there, getting out in front. And Tyron Smith absolutely just flat out missed his block as the best left tackle in the game. He just wasn't able to move out and extend on that pull play. I mean, you want to get your best lineman out. Basically, the toss there with pulling those two guys is it's a simple power scheme where you want to get more guys than them at the point of attack, and simply outnumber them and beat them by a numbers game, as opposed to a zone run, which is more creating angles. And it's going to be Jake Fromm's going to fire, and it's going to be almost intercepted there by the linebacker. Not quite sure who it was, but he got his hands on it and deflected it. It's just a dropped, easy interception. That play would have been huge there for Cleveland. Now Dallas is set up at 3rd and 12 on their own 23-yard line here. They've got to get a first down to keep this clock ticking, or Cleveland will end up right back with the ball in their own 2-minute to get their chance to counter with their own 2-minute drill. Dallas going to line up Demaryius Thomas and Allen Hurns to the right, Michael Gallup and Irv Smith to the right of the quarterback. Hurns and Thomas on the left, Ezekiel to the right of Fromm in the gun. He's going to drop back to pass, take a couple steps back, fire deep over the middle. Demaryius Thomas is going to make an incredible one-handed catch, and no, he dropped it. Huge play there by the two Cleveland defenders to really break up that pass. That things could have gotten really bad there had Dallas completed it. So now, if you're Cleveland, that's a huge win for you because they've got to punt into 13-mile-an-hour winds coming down in your face in the rain, whatever. You've got to think long snap, bad snap, botch the ball, messing up the punt. And this punt here is only going to be maybe about 30 yards, if that. And Cleveland's going to have the ball at their own 46-yard line, almost at midfield. Definitely sets them up for a quick pass or even dink and dunk their way down to a field goal if they choose to play it a little bit too conservative. But if you're Cleveland here, you've got to make shots at the end zone, but also guaranteeing you can get a first down. Dallas is going to counter the corners are backed up almost 8 to 9 yards off. Definitely not trying to let them get beat deep. Baker Mayfield's going to be under center. Nick Chubb behind him in the eye. He's going to hand it off up the middle. Nick Chubb's going to take the handoff, grind out for about 8 yards there. Now they're going to go on this no-huddle attack there. Good for actually about 9. They're going to be at the opposite 46-yard line. Dallas in they're in the nickel look. So if Cleveland thinks they can run the ball and beat them, they're more than welcome to. And they're going to hand it off in the eye again. And Nick Chubb's going to power out to about the 39-yard line there. Another huge run. And just like that, Cleveland is in field goal range, especially with the 13-mile-an-hour winds going straight. I mean, this is pretty much any kicker in the NFL should be able to make this. Obviously, you have the bad weather conditions, though. The rain does not make anything easier. You've got to think you've got 2 different points. You've got the long snapper, you've got the holder, and you've got the kicker, if that's what you choose to do. But Cleveland's got to think touchdown here. They're going to line up with Baker Mayfield in the pistol. 1 tight end, 3 receivers. Mayfield drops back to pass, going to fire off in the flats, and it's going to be almost intercepted in and out of the hands of Byron Jones there. Huge play by Byron Jones. That looked like to be an easy interception, especially for a guy that's such as uber athletic and talented. Maybe that's why he's playing defense and not wide receiver, folks. Basically, they're running a simple bench concept, which is a deep flag and then an out route. They're looking to high-low the flat defender if Dallas was in some sort of zone coverage, but instead they were playing man and Dallas locked up across the board and just simply a forced pass that you can't have happen by Baker Mayfield. But nonetheless, they'll get another shot at it after the dropped INT. Mayfield going to line up in the gun, running back to the right of him, 2 receivers to the left, tight end, wide receiver to the right of him. Mayfield drops back to pass. He's looking, fires, completes a slant over the middle to number 11. Looks to be Antonio Callaway there. Gain of about 18, and now Cleveland is at the 21-yard line. Easily set up. They can take a couple shots into the end zone here if they choose. They can choose to play it a little bit conservatively, try and get another first down, try and really work their way into the end zone. Baker Mayfield in the gun now. Never mind, he's going to audible it, go back under center, tight end, a double tight formation in this passing situation. Josh Gordon, Jarvis Landry, tight ends on both sides of Mayfield. Nick Chubb in the I formation behind him. Mayfield drops up the pass. He's going to fire. Just barely gets it complete after an almost sack there by Dallas. They sent the house, and Cleveland just dumped it off in the flats. And Njoku broke a tackle now, and that's good for about 10 yards. That sets Cleveland up at 1st and 10 at the 10-yard line now. In the gun, handoff to Nick Chubb, who's going to barrel his way forward for about 3 yards there. That's good for 34 yards there by Chubb on the day, 8 rushes. Dallas certainly swallowed them up there. They countered very well with their 4-3 defense, really clocking in there, getting the beefy boys up there. They put the edge player on the line of scrimmage, looking to really keep those inside linebackers clean. Looked like they almost blitzed, and they blitzed right into the trap play. So again, your trap play is just simply center and right guard blocking back, and your left guard looking to pull and kick out that defensive lineman. Can be very, very tough if the opposite defensive lineman, the trap guy, gets incredible amount of pressure, but not too much pressure. He only wants to get about the about the heels of the offensive line. Baker Mayfield going to center in motion again. It's going to be a toss out to Nick Chubb, and it looks like the Dallas Cowboys defender fell down, and he's going to absolutely hurdle him. Nick Chubb looked like he jumped over the defensive back there for a touchdown. Regardless of how it happened, that's a score, and that's going to put Cleveland up 9-17 here. Really huge, getting those points up, and the extra point is up and good. That's going to be 17-10. Cleveland has got to be feeling good about themselves. Dallas, I don't think you let the thoughts creep in the back of your mind. Should we keep doing what we're doing? But your defense just simply got beat there. They got beat in the 2-minute drill. Your offense wasn't good enough. I mean, they had their chance to score. They blew it, and they left too much time for Cleveland to score there. And it looks, as long as nothing crazy happens, Dallas should still be up 17-10 going into halftime. It looks like Dallas is going to actually try and take a shot here rather than playing conservative and run the ball out. They're going to line Fromm up in the gun, Ezekiel Elliott to the left, tight end, 2 receivers split out right. Demaryius Thomas, a single receiver again. Fromm's going to drops back another 10 yards. He's going to fire an absolute rifle over the middle, and it's going to be intercepted there by Cleveland. Huge play there by the defensive back, who's got actually decent return now. He might set him up in field goal territory. He's going to get it out to about the 35-yard line, and Cleveland can kick a field goal here if they want after playing like that. Yes, and it looks like they're sending the field goal unit out. This is going to be about a 53-yard field goal here with 13 miles an hour of the wind helping them. And Dallas is actually going to call timeout here and try and ice the kicker of sorts. So we'll see what they can come up with. 6 seconds left. There should be about 1 or 2 seconds left. The kick is up, and it is through the uprights. Good for about 53 yards there. That sets Cleveland up 13-7, and that's just simply stealing points there. As a football coach, you've got, in big games like this, you go and you tell your guys, we've got to steal points somehow. Somewhere we've got to steal points, and that's exactly 3 points there, and that's going to add up. Should these teams go back and forth, that's the difference between Dallas having to kick a field goal and Dallas having to score a touchdown in the 2-minute drill. Huge, huge impact on the game there. While they might not think it's necessarily a bad thing and you still have the lead, that's not a situation you want to put yourself where you're basically handing your opponents free points. Now they're going to line up in the same exact formation. I hope they're not trying to run a verticals concept again. It's actually going to be a draw to Ezekiel Elliott. He's going to make a random jump cut to the left. Not necessarily what you're looking for there in terms of realism, as he just took the ball and just speed boosted out to the left. But this is not my league, folks. I'm just a neutral commentator. Now Cleveland will be set to kick the ball off. Dallas will receive it here in the second half. In terms of Dallas, you've got to stop forcing balls. On both sides, really. You win the game by just turning the ball over less than the other guy when it comes down to it. Cleveland, you could say the momentum's all in their favor, especially with scoring about 10 points there in just 2 minutes. That's what you want if you're Cleveland. That's about the best possible case scenario. Dallas, on the other case, still has to stay aggressive. They can't necessarily sit and turtle and run the ball with Ezekiel Elliott, but there they try it, and they're going to run the ball good for about 3. Just another zone play there. That's a play. All your offensive linemen's working out to the right, looking for a hole. Didn't see one, so he just kept sprinting out and was one-on-one with the corner, who made an incredible block there. Not necessarily a great block there by the wide receiver, but you'll take it nonetheless. Gain of about 3. You're almost staying on schedule there. Ideally, you're looking for 4 yards of play if you're an old-school player like myself. Fromm now going to be under center. Hearns and Thomas are spilled out to the right. Irv Smith and Michael Gallup to the left of him. Ezekiel Elliott behind him in the eye. Fromm making some more hot routes. Cleveland going to counter their nickel defense. Fromm drops back to pass. Looks, fires. He's going deep there to Demaryius Thomas, who's going to be... Oh, did he catch it? No, he didn't. The defender made an aggressive play on the ball. Had they not have gotten their hands on it, Demaryius Thomas would have been open for another huge touchdown on the play. That's another one of those all-out gambling plays there by the defender. Cleveland has won 2 of them now, and that's kept them in the game. But have Dallas been able to hit some of those deep balls? The score would have been a little bit more Dallas's favor. But that actually works very, very well for Cleveland now. Is now they've got him in 3rd and long. So not necessarily grim look. From going to drop back to pass, look fired, and that's going to be almost intercepted. It bounced off his hands, and it looked like Demaryius Thomas almost made a play on. So the defender, the corner dropped it, plopped right into his hands, and Demaryius Thomas almost caught it for a first down. But that's going to force a Dallas punt here. They're again going to kick it in 13 miles an hour winds. Not ideal if you're a Dallas Cowboys punter. The rain again, still a factor, coming down hard as I had said before. This one only good for about 30-yard lines, and Jarvis Landry's going to catch it on the run, make a move, and he's already got it at the 43-yard line. So now Cleveland's set up very, very well again in field goal territory. But if you're Cleveland here, you're thinking, work my way down and score another touchdown. They're going to line up in the I formation, tight end right, fullback behind Mayfield, tailback behind him is going to be tossed out of the ref. They're going to pull their guard and fullback leading the way. Duke Johnson's going to make a cut and not gain absolutely nothing on the play. Actually, he might even lose a yard depending on where you measure it. Huge stop there by Dallas, but Dallas also Dallas sticking with this heavy 4-3 look and having Leighton Vander Esch play that up linebacker role with Reggie Lagan and Jalen Smith there. I mean, obviously you have a bunch of 3-thumping linebackers, but I don't know if necessarily. Oh, never mind. Pass is gonna be dropped dumped off to David Njoku over the middle, just a simple drag route. As Baker Mayfield looks more like Captain Checkdown himself rather than Baker Gunslinger Mayfield. Cleveland set up now at 3rd and 8. They're in the gun. Look for the first down, maybe gain a couple yards to make this field goal easier. They didn't have necessarily too bad of a problem last time. Baker Mayfield's going to dump off. The pass is going to be complete to the running back out there out of the backfield on a simple angle route here. We got a flag after the play. Let's see what it is. And it's going to be a illegal block in the back there by Cleveland. Cleveland's still going to pick up the first down. So not necessarily a roughing the passer. That's initially what I thought. It looked to be some contact down there by Baker Mayfield, but it's going to actually be after the running catch there by the running back. Just a simple angle route there that'll beat man coverage a lot of the time, especially if your linebacker's not necessarily a fleet of foot like a Reggie Lagan or even Jalen Smith was his mobility concerns. Baker Mayfield now under center, Nick Chubb behind him. 2 tight ends in the wing position, wide receivers to the right of him. Dallas is going to counter with their 4-3 overlook. Leighton Vander Esch up on the strong side, and it's going to be a counter run play, and Randy Gregory is going to absolutely swallow this one up. He made a huge play, and that's where you see a guy like Randy Gregory who's got a quick first step, is fast off the ball. If you're going to pull and kick him out, you've got to think, what can we do to get there quicker? The right guard's route didn't necessarily. The right guard there is going to be the kick out with the opposite tight end. He's going to be the wrapper. That's just simple down blocks all the way to the left. But when you have a very, very aggressive left end like him, he can get upfield and really disrupt those pull routes and knock everyone's routes off. So now Cleveland's going to set up 2nd and 13, running back to the left and wide receiver split out right. They're going to go with almost a bunch formation to the right, only about 5 yards off from the tackle. Mayfield's going to look to make adjustments. Cowboys showing blitz, and they're going to, never mind, drop back into coverage. Nonetheless, it doesn't matter. Baker Mayfield completes the slant, good for about 11 yards there. Cleveland's still at 3rd and 2 at the 24-yard line. And Njoku now going to be in the Baker Mayfield going to be in the empty set. Again, looking to get matchups. And Dallas is struggling to figure out how they want to align their defense. Baker Mayfield's going to drop back, rolling to his right. He's going to look to run for the first down. DeMarcus Lawrence dives, but that's only going to be a gain of about 1 to 2 yards, or sorry, about 5, and that's still going to be a first down. Either way you look at it, he dove while Baker Mayfield was rolling out, and he fell forward, which is not that bad. Cleveland now going to hand the ball off to Nick Chubb off to the right, and he's going to be absolutely stoned as Dallas get absolutely nothing there. They line up with 2 tight ends there and a fullback behind him, and they tried to run that simple power concept again. The pulling guard was a year wrapper, fullback is going to kick out there, and Dallas lined up in their 4-3 over formation again. Now Cleveland comes out and triple type it out of the gun. Receiver to the right of them, and then more single receiver split out left. 2 tight ends to the right and a receiver also, or tight end on the line of scrimmage to the left. To the left, we're going to be a handoff given on the outside, and they're going to get absolutely nowhere. The safety came up and made a huge play on the run there. That's going to be a loss of about 4. So now Cleveland is back. They're in negative territory again here. 3rd and about 14. They're at the 23-yard line here. A field goal really doesn't do them too much good in terms of lead. They'd still be down by 1. Looking definitely to get to match up here and get this long first down. The Dallas defense, this is a defensive lineman. You're looking to pin your ears back and really get your pass receivers. You're going very hard for pass rush. And Baker Mayfield's going to roll to the left and dump it off to the out in the flats, but there's a penalty on the play. Let's see what it is. And it's going to be a roughing the passer against Randy Gregory there. And that is an absolute gift to the Browns, as that's going to set the Browns up in 1st and goal on the 8-yard line now. Now Baker Mayfield going to line up in the gun, 2 receivers left, and Njoku and a wide receiver split out right. Johnson behind him to the right of him. Baker Mayfield's going to look, step back, drop to fire, and he's going to set up the screen to the running back who's going to catch it and be absolutely hammered there by, I believe, Reggie Ragland. Loss of about 2. Is now it's 2nd and goal here for Cleveland from about the 10-yard line here. Dallas has been playing lights out defense. Dallas again they're in this 4-3 over formation again. They are really looking to get as many guys on the line of scrimmage as possible and clog up this Cleveland run game. So we'll see what they're doing. And now it looks like it's going to be a counter handoff. This time they catch the block on Randy Gregory. Nick Chubb's going to jump. And that's a touchdown there. He almost hurdled the Dallas safety. It looks like he maybe clipped a small part of him, but Dallas just simply was outnumbered there. And that's what the counter will do. If you try and overload and put way too many guys on the one side of the field, the counter works perfectly. As that, now after the PAT, it's going to be a 20-17 game. Not that long of a drive there by Cleveland, but they, underratedly, they ate up about 6 minutes on the clock, which is huge now. Both teams have had decently long, decently time-intensive drives. I think it really fits what style both these teams are. Obviously, I believe Cleveland has a little bit more weapons and is a little bit more explosive than the Dallas offense, who's more geared towards that rock-solid running game with a little bit underrated wide receivers. Dallas again is not out of it by far, but now they're starting to feel the pressure a little bit as Cleveland has scored, I believe, 20 straight points, if I'm not mistaken, or at least 14. But nonetheless, Dallas is going to try and come up with something here. It's going to be a trap play to Ezekiel Elliott. He's going to lower his shoulder, and he's going to a huge gashing run play there. Good for about 23 yards. He almost had the breakaway there, but was hawked down by, I believe, a safety who caught him there. It was a simple trap play where they had their number. I believe the defensive lineman was in a 3-tech, which makes it way, way easier to trap as opposed to a 2-eye. It gets kind of tight. And in real life, you would actually move your trap one hole over in terms of your pulling call there and try and block down. You typically won't trap guys in the A-gap. That's way, way too hard. That's typically why you don't see many pull plays at the goal line. Is trapping those really real interior guys gets tough. As Dallas is going to line up in the bunch right. Receiver split out to the left, going to be handoff to Ezekiel Elliott. He's going to up the middle. He's going to break a tackle. He's going to fight for more yards again, and that's going to be a gain of 9 there as Ezekiel Elliott is starting to slowly tick away, take his game over. He's been almost bottled up the entire time. But if you're Ezekiel Elliott, he's a back that can take over the entire game, much as we've seen in backs like Saquon Barkley and Todd Gurley. I mean, these guys can put entire offenses, and I think it's even more of the case with Ezekiel Elliott and Saquon Barkley. I'm not going to be here to debate who's better, but Ezekiel Elliott is certainly an MVP type running back. And now it's going to be Jake Fromm drops back to throw, and he's going to be complete to Irv Smith Jr. The linebacker just simply didn't make a play on the ball. I'm not quite sure if Fromm threw it in there a little bit too tight, but that'll be a first down now. Gain of about 2 on the 3rd and 1 play. Cleveland now is almost back playing a bit as Dallas has moved the ball. They've stayed their game. They're not being who they're not. And they're sticking to their identity they've built, which is running the football, lull you to sleep, hit the play action plays, hit some of the short passes, get Fromm in rhythm, and really get him going. And it's going to be a fake handoff to Ezekiel Elliott, Fromm going out to the right, and it's going to be a pass complete over the middle to Allen Hurns, wide open, and they're going to try and rip the ball out of hands, and Hurns is going to spin away. Almost looked like he could break free there, though. But nonetheless, that's a gain of 22, still good. And now that sets up Dallas at the Cleveland's own 20-yard line there, right in striking distance, definitely in field goal range, definitely looking to score and put a huge touchdown on the board to go up. If they score the touchdown here, it'd be 24-20, meaning Cleveland would have to kick the field goal, or Cleveland would have to score a touchdown rather than kick the field goal. But that's end game. We're not trying to get too far ahead of ourselves. Cleveland's not going to come out in their standard 4-3 set, pinch their interior defensive line, so they're leaving the B gaps wide open, and they get the cheese there. Not necessarily how I would line my defense up, but nonetheless, if it works in Madden, it works in here as Ezekiel Elliott stoned for a loss of 1. That sets up 2nd and 11 here for Dallas on their own on Cleveland's 22-yard line here. 1:12 left. Trying to score before the half. Fromm drops back to pass, and he's going to be sacked there as Christian Kirksey came absolutely screaming in, almost unblocked. Cleveland sent 5 rushers, and they sent 6, and Dallas only blocked 5. You do the math, 5 is greater than 6. 6 is greater than 5. Getting a little bit lightheaded here, being the only one solo casting this game. Oh well. Now that's going to be a huge 3rd and long. You're almost going 2 sticks here if you're Dallas. If you're an offensive coordinator, you don't have plays in the book to get you 3rd and 18. You got to look to just take a sack here and put yourself out of field goal range. So Jake Fromm's going to send Michael Gallup in motion. He's going to drop back to throw, looking all the time in the world, complete over the middle, and it's going to be a huge drop there by Allen Hurns. The defender draped all over him. That was just a great play to break it up there. A huge athletic play. And now Dallas is stuck kicking in his 13-mile-an-hour runs. We'll see if Dan Bailey can have it. One of the most accurate kickers of all time. He's going to line up. Kick is up, and it is good right through the uprights now. Tie ball game. Dallas 20, Cleveland 20. Here at 19 seconds left in the 3rd quarter here. So we're going to have a tie ball game going into the 4th quarter here. Cleveland getting the ball. They've got it. You control your own destiny here. You've got the ball. You want to put together another huge, strong drive. No one wants to go 3-and-out here and give Dallas the ball back, especially after they just grinded out a decently long drive to tie it up. All right, now Cleveland back on offense here. They've got David Njoku and Geronimo Allison to the right, two receivers split out. Running back also to the right of Baker Mayfield. Dallas showing blitz here. They're showing 6. They're going to actually not send it, and Cleveland's got a perfectly designed handoff there. And there's going to be a penalty on the play. Let's see what it is. It's going to be a face mask there. It looked like he drug him down by the helmet. And now Cleveland is at the 36-yard line, or at Dallas's 36-yard line, and they're, boom, right in field goal range again. Now Cleveland lined up in 3 tight ends to the right. Josh Gordon, the only receiver, set out to the left. Dallas is sort of adjusting, probably going in some sort of automatic as it's an overload formation. They've got to, adjust their defense, otherwise they're going to get killed. They looked as almost if they were slanting their D line and flopping their outside linebacker playing edge in that situation, which you can't necessarily blame them as they're getting more beef on that side rather than a linebacker playing up on the ball. As they're going to line up in the 3 tight ends again, but this time Mayfield under center. He's going to fake the handoff. Poor play action. He's going to step back at least 12 yards, and it's going to be an interception there by Jalen Smith as Baker Mayfield tried to force it and threw it right to him there. Not many times do you see quarterback. Obviously, it was 7 or 12 step drop there in the play action, but I don't know many quarterbacks that actually drop back 10 yards and try and throw the ball that way. I mean, you're just making it a longer throw for you to complete, especially in that situation. Jalen Smith read that perfectly and just was in the right place at the right time. This is a great interception there by him, and now Dallas, it's your turn. You've got a chance to counter after that huge play. Scoring off turnovers is a huge method of winning games. As Jake Fromm's going to identify some people here at the line of scrimmage. He's going to turn, hand it off to Ezekiel Elliott. Breaks away for a first down. He's going to make a move, lower his shoulder, and he's going to grind out about 16 yards, as a simple dive play there. As Dallas's offensive line is just simply taking over this game. They're dominating that Cleveland offensive front. Who's very talented nonetheless, but there's a reason Dallas has got the best left tackle, center, and right guard in football. And Connor Williams and Lyle Collins are no slouches themselves. If Dallas can simply take this game over running, it's going to be a long day here for Cleveland, as they might head back home with a loss here. And now Fromm's going to drop back to pass. That's going to be a draw there. That's going to take the prolonged handoff there for about negative yards. Cleveland was all over that. They sent 6, expecting some sort of run player to throw them off guard if it was passed. And either way, results matter, and Cleveland is now rewarded with a tackle for loss there. Ezekiel Elliott stoned. Jake Fromm now back in the shotgun, 2nd and 11. Ezekiel Elliott and Demaryius Thomas to the left. Demaryius Thomas split out wide. Ezekiel Elliott to the left. Fromm's going to drop back to pass, dump it off quick to Ezekiel Elliott. He's going to make a pass. Make an excellent catch there on the run. It was on the wrong shoulder there by Fromm, but regardless of it, had to turn around. Had he hit him in stride there, he made him able to get a yard or two. Just not ideally placed ball there. It wasn't bad. It was a catchable ball, but if you're looking for him to truly develop, you're going to look for him to lead him there, not necessarily make him turn back in the other way. So now that sets up Dallas at 3rd and 4 here. They've got Irv Smith with Hearns and get Michael Gallup to the left, and Demaryius Thomas, the only receiver to the right. Fromm in the gun. He's going to drop back to pass, dumps off, throws the little drag route there to Irv Smith, who makes a spin move, but still only can get about 1 yard on the play, as that is not what you want. And the Cleveland defense just simply played the picket fence style of defense, where you're going to allow those completions and just rally to the football, is the term used for it. They're going up and making gang tackles at that line of scrimmage, and now it's going to set up a huge, long field goal attempt for Dallas. It's going to be a 64-yarder. I know they have 13 miles an hour winds, but this is incredible. They're even attempting it, and it's going to be well short, and Cleveland's going to catch it there for... Oh, sorry, never mind. They're going to say he was out of bounds. So now Cleveland's got the ball at Dallas's 46-yard line. That's incredible. Baker Mayfield not going to be in the gun. Chubb to his right, two tight ends to the right of him. Josh Gordon, Jarvis Landry, the receiver, split out left in a stack type formation. They're going to send Njoku in motion to the left. Shuffles across the line. Down a 3-point stance there in almost a wing type position. It's going to be a handoff up the middle. Actually, never mind. He's going to take it outside and make a spin move. And he's off to the races, breaking another tackle there. That's good for a gain of 20. For Nick Chubb, who he's been bottled up all day. Both of these defensive fronts have really been taking over the game. I mean, it's sort of been dink and dunk style. Both teams have had 1 or 2 long drives, and that's going to be it. The Dallas defense is allowing only 100 passing yards here to a quarterback and receivers and tight end at the level of Baker Mayfield with all those weapons around him. That's a huge win, but they've also given up 100 yards on the ground as well. Cleveland's defense, on the other hand, is limited Cowboys to only 68 rushing yards, but they've actually given up 237. And Baker, as we see that, Baker Mayfield drops back to pass and completes about the 1-yard slant there, just trying to save it for his life. Dallas is sending 5, 6, sometimes even 7 guys to try and get pressure on Mayfield. As you know, other than besides the rare DeMarcus Lawrence edge play, and Randy Gregory, I think, is the only one making plays. Other than the first quarter, Marcel Darius, you've seen him with 2 sacks. He's been quiet. Now Dallas is realizing if they want to get pressure and they want to force incompletions, hit the big play, which is a sack, they've got to start sending some guys here, and they're going to show 6 again. Cleveland matched up perfectly as they're going to line up with a bunch right. Dallas not lined up correctly on it. They've only got 2 receiver out there and 3. If you're playing in number games, that's a win, and Baker Mayfield's going to dump it off, actually complete out to the flats. Running back's going to lower his shoulder, break 2 tackles there. He's going to pound his way out for 4 yards there. And that's simply one could call it either a screen or, in West Coast terms, that's a long handoff there. Just a simple flat play out there, and you stick three receivers or maybe even a tight end out there. You want to get the ball, you want to get your athletes in space there, especially get them out there on the edge. You don't necessarily have to risk running up there all gutty between the tackles. So that sets up 3rd and 4 here for Cleveland's offense. They're going to line up the same formation, bunch right. This time running back to the left from Josh Gordon, single receiver set. Dallas is going to go 6 again. Let's see if they send the blitz. Mayfield in the gun. He's going to look. He's identifying the field, looking for a weakness, changing the play at the line. He's going to drop back to throw, and there's going to be pressure right in his face. And as we say that, it's going to be a DeMarcus Lawrence sack here. That'll be the 2nd of the day for Dallas, as both sides have only mustered up 3 total sacks combined. Dallas coming up with their 2, but a huge one there. A key stop there to limit a touchdown on the play, and that's going to be a Cleveland field goal attempt here from the 27-yard line. So that'll set up a 44-yard field goal attempt here for Cleveland's kicker. As the play clock chips down, the kick is going to be up, and it is going to be good, just barely scraping over the uprights there. Cleveland will be up now 23-20. Dallas with plenty of time left on the board with 6 minutes left. Dallas can just simply run the football out here, kick a field goal, and go into overtime if they choose to drip it that far. But something tells me Cleveland's not going to necessarily allow that. Dallas is in a comfortable position here where you don't necessarily have to pass it and force big plays for the Cleveland defense. You can run the ball and play it safe if you think your offensive line can take the game over. Dallas lined up 2 receivers to the left. Irv Smith, another wide receiver at right. They're going to fake the handoff here. Fromm's going to look. He's going to be strip sacked there. And Cleveland falls on it. It's going to be Leonard Floyd looking to get up, but he fumbled. You're going to think, if that situation, you want to pick it up, and he's going to be out like lookout. As this game is just falling apart for Dallas. Cleveland's got the ball, and Dallas is on 24-yard line now. They're in position to not only they threw the haymaker with that last punch, but they're trying to put the nail in the coffin now. I mean, if you're Leonard Floyd in that situation, Leonard Floyd's got get away from the cop speed as an edge rusher. I mean, he can absolutely flat out fly. there would have been a player on Dallas's offense that have been able to catch him. But nonetheless, Cleveland going to line up in the I formation. Tight end right, two receivers split out ref. Dallas is going to count it with the 4-3 overlook man up on the tight end. It's going to be a dive up the middle. Nick Chubb's going to look to hurdle, but never mind, he's stopped. Huge play there in the run game by Xavier Woods. That's good for about gain of 6 nonetheless. As it looks like Dallas is going to have to get aggressive here and force a turnover. I mean, because if you're Cleveland, you can just milk the ball. You can just milk the clock out. Cleveland now in almost a goal line set. They're going double tight, and they're going to fake the snap, and they're going to actually get an offside. So this is a free play here if you're Cleveland. As either way you stack it up, that'll be another first down for Cleveland. And slowly but surely, they've got almost a minute drift off the clock here. Dallas Cowboys are in panic mode, if I do say so myself. They absolutely have to force a play here, because if they allow a touchdown, they're going to be down 10 points here with only about 4 minutes left, and that's not a recipe you want to be, or that's not a situation you want to put yourself in. Cleveland a counter with a pistol type set. Dallas has got 6 guys on the line of scrimmage. They're going almost with a big 4-3 look, bringing a safety down in the box, only playing one deep. Cleveland's only got one wide receiver on the field, so I can't blame them. Gonna let the clock drip down. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's going to be a handoff to Nick Chubb up the middle again. They lead the fullback and the tight end over the middle, and there's going to be another flag on the play. It looks like it'll be a holding against the Cleveland left tackle, and now that sets them up, and that's exactly what you want. Now, if you're Cleveland, you've got to be thinking touchdown here. You can't necessarily run the ball out here on 1st and 20 unless you absolutely impose your will here on an offensive line. Mayfield's going to come out in the gun, 3 receivers and to the left or tight end to the right, and it's going to be a draw play, and there's another flag here as Dallas's defense. Dallas is really looking to make a play and strip the ball out, but I mean, they're just basically shooting themselves in the foot. They got gifted there the holding penalty on the backside, but now that sets Cleveland up in a way more manageable situation. At 1st and 10 now on the 20, really looking to throw that nail in the coffin. Dallas is expecting run here as they've got absolutely everyone up on the line of scrimmage, pressed across the board, 2 safeties almost in the box as a 4-4 look. You send Josh Gordon in motion. It's actually going to be a toss out to Nick Chubb, who's going to make a cut right. It's going to be another crackback type play. Obviously, I was never athletic enough to be wide receiver myself, but that pulling guard and tackle there is right up my alley. And typically, you can catch a corner off guard, but you got to watch them. Little guys are tough to block just because they're so simply agile. So, as a pulling guard and you young football players out there, you've got to keep your feet and just run through the guy there on that one. Dallas showing 6 again, double A-gap look. Cleveland's going to send their wide receiver in motion again. This time it's not going to be a pass. Baker Mayfield's going to drop back the pass, and oh my goodness, it's going to be intercepted by Xavier Woods. He's going to make a cut. He's going to get out to about the 28-yard line there. Cleveland has absolutely, as much as Dallas gifted them the way, Dallas gets that turnover they need. Now they're only down 3 with 4 minutes left. That is exactly what Dallas needs to get right back in this. But they still have to. It's not necessarily too bad of a thing for Cleveland, as they've still got to go 70 yards to score a touchdown. As Dallas lines up and actually is going to hand the ball off there, only good for about 2 yards. Maybe trying to catch them off guard, see if Cleveland countered with a more pass favorable defense. And look to get more bodies on bodies there and win brute force wise. as Dallas has mustered up 307 yards compared to Cleveland's 204 yards on offense. Dallas has been moving the ball up and down, but both sides both have 3 turnovers. It came down to who made the play right there in the last couple of minutes. We'll see if Dallas can capitalize on it. It's going to be Hass over the middle, complete to Allen Hurns, who's going to make a huge catch. That leaves Jake Fromm now in the single back formation. It's going to be a zone handoff to Ezekiel to the right. He's going to lower his shoulder, fight forward, and that's the 35-yard line. And they've got it at the Cleveland opposite 35-yard line. I'm sorry. So that's an easy field goal formation there, or field goal type for Dallas. Dallas now set up. They've got to be careful not to allow too much time on the ball, but also creep up, set yourself up a nice field goal formation, maybe even send out the ball if you want to play it really conservatively. But with the way overtime rules work in the NFL, you've got to be trying for a score here. And Fromm is trying to fake snap it there and catch him off sides, but it looks like a Cleveland move, but nonetheless, they're going to say the tackle actually jumped. And that's not too good if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan. Dallas is going to have the ball back with 2:02 left at 1st and 15. And it's going to be handoff up the middle there for about 6. Now, double tight formation here for Dallas. It doesn't look as they appear to try and pass the ball down the field. They're going to actually set up a trap play here, and that's going to be absolutely nowhere. You cannot run trap, especially when they're stacking all those guys in the middle of the field there. It just simply is not. That's not what trap's built for. You simply put a nose there, and you put a guy in either 2-eye or 3-tech. It's still so tough to trap because it's such a hard down block there for your tackle. Normally, your blocking schemes there would be you're doubling the guy to the left to the point of attack. It's going to be 3 wide receiver spell out to the left. Fromm's going to actually come in the gun here, trying to pick up the first down passing it. He's going to roll it to the left. He's going to try and dump it off to Irv Smith there, and that's going to be absolutely nowhere. As that is 4th and 11 now for Dallas, and this is a long field goal here, 52 yards, and Cleveland going to do their due diligence and ice them coming out. That's going to be a 52-yard attempt for one of the best kickers in the history of the game, Dan Bailey. We'll see if they can use Dan Bailey's leg here to tie this game up and send it to overtime. Or maybe even get their hands on and block one here if you're Cleveland. Regardless of it, it'll be left hash, 35-yard line. This will be a 53-yard attempt here for Dan Bailey. The crowd going wild. The dog pound really wants a miss here. The kick is going to be... the kick is going to be lined up here. They're waiting the snap. Kick is up, and it is good. Hammered through there by Dan Bailey. 23-23. Dan Bailey is absolutely money here. Still in the Dallas Cowboys in our little universe here. An extremely accurate kicker there. So now, if you're Cleveland, all you've got to do is muster a field goal up. You've got about one touchdown left with 1:30 left. Typically, if you're Cleveland, you can either play. You can't necessarily run the clock out if that's what you want to do. Dallas has still got 3 timeouts left. So now Cleveland necessarily doesn't look like they're trying to throw the ball. As they come out in the rare triple tight end shotgun formation here that I haven't seen in a while. It's going to be an outside handoff there to the running back who's going to actually take it and run for about 20 yards, but there's going to be an unnecessary roughness penalty there as Cleveland is up and right in field goal formation now on Dallas's 45-yard line. They're in the driver's seat. That could definitely be what cost them. Even if you're an NFL player, you have to know you can't be making those dirty hits on the side. And I mean, that's high school football stuff where you're frustrated. Your team just gave up the lead. You can't go out and put yourself ahead of the team and make those stupid, unnecessary penalties now. As Cleveland is set up very, very well, they come out in this bench formation to the right. Baker Mayfield's going to again drop off to the running back, catches it, breaks a tackle, makes another move. He's going to settle down at the 34-5-yard line, gain for about 9. As they're going to go in no huddle mode now, really trying to push the ball. It's going to be another handoff up the middle. Running back makes a cut to the right. Going to be on a pile of linemen there. Gain of about 4. And that's good enough for a first down, regardless of how you look at it. That's almost going to set them up in manageable field goal range. If you're Cleveland here, you can just line the ball up. If you're Dallas, you're looking for another late turnover. You've got your timeout. You got your timeouts left. It's perplexing why they haven't been used, but that's why I'm not coaching, folks. It's gonna be another inside handoff give, and the play's gonna be absolutely stoned there by Tyrone Crawford here. Nick Chubb. And Cleveland lining up. Cleveland gonna come out and they're gonna actually throw the ball. You'd think they would just stick it out and run it. They're going with an empty set. If you're Dallas here, you can pick it off and seal a game. Baker Mayfield's going to dump it off, and it's going to be dumped off in the flats there by, I believe it was Njoku or one of the tight ends. And Dallas is going to quickly call a timeout there. That's only good for about 2 or 3 yards. So now if you're Cleveland, you've got 11 mile-an-hour winds going against you. It's still a fairly far field goal attempt at 43 yards, and that's going to be up, and that is going to be good. Cleveland is going to take the lead here, 26-23, with only 18 seconds left. Dallas is going to get a chance to, throw 1 or 2 more Hail Marys, try and get a deep ball, try and hit a big money play. We'll see what they can come up with. Tavon Austin is always electric as usual there to return the kick. Let's see if he can make a play happen, and he's not going to be able to. Cleveland all over him. Swallowed him up there at the 30. Things are looking not too grim now for Cleveland. Should Cleveland win this, they'll move on to 9-1, and Dallas will be 8-2. Still very, very respectable records. But Dallas still has something to say about it. They're going to line up and obviously try and force a play down the field deep. Fromm's going to set up, drop back to pass, back up another 10, 15 yards. It's going to be caught incomplete to Allen Hurns. That's going to be a timeout there. Still at the 47-yard line. That sets Dallas up for at least a field. We'll see what Dallas does. It's a 64-yarder. I mean, you would think they might be able to at least kick it a little bit. There's 6 seconds left, so it's possible they can complete a quick out and maybe make it a little bit easier on them, and Cleveland's going to back off. Is now they were looking to hit the quick out. It's good they didn't really get it. Either way, this is a long, long field goal for Dallas. As not only is it going to be ice, it's going to be in the rain, it's going to be in the wind, actually favoring them. The only thing making this somewhat makeable is a 64-yard attempt. As Dan Bailey's going to line up, he's always been extremely accurate in his career. Not necessarily from long range here, as this is going to be for the ball game here. With 2 seconds left, they're going to attempt to line it up. All the pressure's on Dan Bailey here. The Cleveland crowd is going absolutely crazy here, as they're, it's tough to probably even hear yourself think. And they're gonna actually call a flag on that one, a delay of game. It looks like he'll be going for the Hail Mary. And uh, I'm not quite sure. Um, that's interesting. They just sort of gave up. Um, wow. They didn't have any timeouts left on either side, and the delay of game actually would cause a runoff, and that's going to be a win for the Browns. Wow. Huge, huge play. Um, that's going to be it for here for Fallen. That was an incredible, incredible um, play there. Wow, that's just simply not knowing your X's and O's on that one there. I'm stunned. Filling in, that was incredible. Incredible comeback there by Cleveland. At one point it was 17-0. They come back to win 26-23. And Cleveland's going to wrap it up here and move on to 9-1. Dallas is going to fall to 8-2 there, and so this has been your TFGO game of the week. Thanks for tuning in.